The world might feel a bit more chaotic and a bit more divided. It's easy to forget sometimes that there are constants. Your home's still your home, your family's still your family, and all the structures of our society are still there to look after you if you need it.
Here we go. George's resus.
Adult male, code red trauma, 10 minutes.
Activate the helipad.
There's been an explosion on a building site.
Heart rate 200.
Open your eyes, open your eyes.
Imagine having to work here.
Hello, Amy, can I help?
St George's, London.
It's all gonna kick off now.
One of Britain's busiest A&E departments.
Are we ready to roll?
Carry on CPR.
Oh, goodness me, it's all happening, isn't it?
We need to fix that, or you won't survive.
Is it?
A place where life,
Would you say I was fit, Doctor? Honestly, I think I'm quite fit.
love,
You are my everything. I love you, and it's okay.
and loss
Oh, Mum. I'm so sorry.
unfold every single day.
For every bad thing that you see, there is something equally wonderful out there.
Filmed across one 24-hour period, these are the stories of a nation and its health service.
I thought I was going to die.
You're definitely not going to die. You've got too many good doctors and nurses here.
When people experience really significant illness or injuries, we see people pull together, we see relationships get stronger, and we see people reflect on what really is the most important things in their life.
Whatever happens, it's going to be okay.
I love you.
Love you too.
George's recess. So we've got increased drowsiness and we've got an increasing weakness, you said? Okay, we'll figure it out from here. Thanks. Adult thrombolysis, ETA 8 minutes.
A 62-year-old resident of a neurological hospital is being rushed to St George's after suffering a suspected stroke.
62-year-old with new onset weakness in right hand. They're clearing a hemorrhagic stroke, essentially.
A stroke is whenever there has been a disruption to the blood supply to part of the brain. Now that disruption could be the result of a blockage of that blood supply or because of bleeding. Their initial diagnosis is time critical. The longer that there is a delay, the greater the risk.
The man's wife is travelling with him in the ambulance.
It was a normal day. I went over to visit Paul in Putney at the Neuro Disability Hospital, like I did most days. He just suddenly became very drowsy, and you can't say that it was like a switch had been turned, but it just, all of a sudden, he just went downhill. And then the next thing I know, it's blue lights into St George's. It was scary, very scary. I didn't know what to think.
All right.
If you can hand over.
So Paul's 62 years old.
Yep.
He was diagnosed with
Thank you.
transverse myelitis in January. Have you got the letter that's in those notes?
Transverse myelitis is a neurological condition causing inflammation of the spinal cord. When a patient has an existing condition, it can make symptoms a lot more difficult to diagnose and manage.
It'd be useful to know what the baseline symptoms are.
It can make it difficult for us to assess what they can normally do and if there's been any change.
Hello, mate. Yeah. Hi, Paul. My name's Ahmed, one of the doctors. I'm just reading your letter. It's saying that you've not been quite your normal selves.
No, I've got transverse myelitis.
Yeah.
I can't move my legs. Apparently I'll be very sleepy.
I'm going to put a needle on your arm and take some blood. Let me stretch your arm.
While my colleague's doing that, I'm just going to do a few simple things. Can you keep your head nice and still? Just follow my finger. Follow my finger. Can you see my finger there? Can you track it? His pupils are quite pinpoint. What the concern was that you've been a little bit more drowsy than usual, and there were concerns that you had some weakness in your hand. I think we're going to do a full screen of blood test for you, just clarify a little bit more what's going on. We'll get you around for a scan of your head as well, and then we'll come back to you, OK? Yeah?
When you've been with somebody for so long, you just don't imagine that they're not going to be there. Putting on a brave front is hard sometimes. And I just want to cuddle him and make it all better, and I can't do that.
All you need to do is just keep nice and still, just hold your hand to your head, okay?
62-year-old Paul is undergoing an emergency CT scan after suffering a suspected stroke.
I was 19 when I met Paul. I remember the day that he came to pick me up for the first day. He was quite young looking. He had pale blue skinny jeans and a green mohair jumper that his mum had made for him. And we went to a bar in Croydon and they asked him how old he was. You know, so he was a bit miffed about that, to say the least. There's a spark there.
Okay, starting now.
We saw one another nearly every night. And I don't know, it just seemed to click and get on so well. It just seemed natural to be together. I remember having a party. It was my 21st, and he got down on one knee and just said, "Would you like to marry me?" There's no question that I was going to say no. I loved him to bits then, and I still do now. Yeah, well, I suppose it's every girl's dream to find somebody that you could love for the rest of your life and be happy with. We got married in Camberwell Registry Office. About 90 people crammed into this room. Just amazing. Happiest day of my life. Lots of memories. And it was just the start of the next chapter, I suppose. When the children came along, he helped with everything. Bathing them, changing them, feeding. He wasn't too keen on getting up in the middle of the night, but occasionally he did. He loved being a father. He had 2 boys. They both loved sport, so he used to coach the school football team on a Saturday sometimes. Loved it. I think he would have preferred to be playing on the pitch with them, as apart from, you know, standing at the edge and encouraging them. Paul was a lovely husband. He did everything for us, he gave us everything. He just wanted us all to be happy and provide for us. Very happy times.
Okay, well done.
Just for it to suddenly stop overnight, it's unbelievable.
Well done, Paul.
You just don't know what's around the corner.
Right, we're going to slide you across, OK? Ready? 1, 2, 3. There we are.
Your favorite telephone. Hello, 999. Do you want to speak to Sophia? Okay, sure, I'll put you through. Okay, no, she does not want to speak to you.
Grandad? It was like a nodding dog, Grandad. Is that it?
One of them,
Yeah,
like that,
one of
yeah.
them.
Well, we're going home soon, love. All right. Go home. I'll have a cup of coffee and I'll go to bed.
Yeah.
All right.
74-year-old Eric has come to St George's with his granddaughter Kaylee after experiencing an episode of dizziness at home.
I remember we kept saying, don't ring them, I'm all right, I'm all right.
Better to be safe than sorry, innit?
I just want to go home.
Oh, no.
Kaylee, she never stops, you know. God bless her heart. Have you been eating? You haven't been eating crisps, have you? If I have an hospital appointment, did you go to the hospital? Have you been to the doctors to renew your prescription? She's like a bloody terrier.
Thank you for being here, love.
No worries, Grandad. You'd do the same if it was the other way around, wouldn't you?
No. You know I would.
Kaylee was my first granddaughter. From that first moment, she sparkled, yeah. Yeah, she did. I think she took a little bit after her father. He used to take her everywhere, on rambles and walks, and he used to draw things for her. You'd think they were stuck together with glue. She idolised him. Yeah, she was very, very happy as a child. Very happy.
It's only because you were flapping.
I wasn't flapping, I was wafting. Wafting you with a bit of paper, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Because you was dripping with sweat.
But then, when she grew up, she had a bit of trouble. Her mum used to ring me up and say, oh, Kaylee's been this, been that. She's acting up, she was fighting at school. She don't care about anything, you know. It's a typical rebellion thing. I think it was mainly anger with her because she couldn't understand why her dad had gone.
And then your breathing went all rattly, like properly rattly.
I didn't know that, love.
No, you was unconscious.
No, I didn't know that.
George's resus. Go ahead. Open fracture. Okay, 20 minutes. Charlie Kilo. Adult male trauma call, ETA, 20 minutes.
A 28-year-old man is being rushed to St George's after sustaining an open fracture while playing American football. The man's partner is making her way to the hospital.
I had a missed call from a random mobile number. I thought, it's a bit strange, it's quite late. I didn't know if it's something to do with the wedding. Then a different number started calling and I thought, what is this? This voice just said, Amy. Josh's injured himself. It's pretty bad. We've called an ambulance. You kind of need to get here. I was just really panicking. So just like trying to grab stuff, just wanted to get there and wanted to see him.
Fracture dislocation, tib fib.
An open fracture by definition means that break has been so bad that it's pierced through the skin. There's been such a significant shift in the normal structure of the bone that it could have potentially damaged the nerve supply and the blood supply. Worst case scenario, if you lose the blood supply to that joint, you're at risk of losing that limb itself.
Number one, please.
Good man, good man. Well done.
All right. Okay, well done. You can have a bit more of that just now if you want.
Right.
Right, hi.
Okay.
This is Josh, 28. He was playing football about 9 o'clock, American football. He jumped up for the ball, just landed awkwardly. His left ankle is very dislocated. The critical skin slightly opened up. He's had 10 milligrams of morphine and a gram of paracetamol IV. Lots of gas.
Thank you. Is it Josh, yeah? Hi, Josh. My name's Ahmed. I know there's lots of people around, okay? What we're going to do is we give you some strong medication and we get this in a better position.
Yep.
Okay? You're not allergic to anything at all?
No.
No?
My name's Olivia. Can I get you to take off your top for me? Okay.
Just going to have a look. We're not going to do any moving of it.
No, there's not. Not like that.
Well done, well done.
You don't want to hear that about someone you love, that they're in pain and have hurt themselves. It was quite scary not knowing what was going to happen and if he was going to be able to walk again.
He's got critical skin. Just put it back. Just put it back.
Josh,
Yeah.
this is just some oxygen, just because we're giving you some sedation.
Josh is in resus after fracturing his ankle playing American football.
We just need to pull it back into a normal position, then we'll get you a scan done, okay? So I'm just going to give you some medication, all right? Just keep your arm nice and straight like that for me, okay?
Yeah.
The main priority when any patient comes in with an open dislocation and fracture is reducing it and putting it back into its normal position, because it reduces the risk of any damage to the nerves and blood supply, which could put that limb at risk.
Josh, nice deep breath in for me. Are you happy? Happy? Yes.
Right, okay, we're ready.
Ready?
Yep.
Wow. All right, fella. Well done, mate. Really nice deep breath. We're almost done. We've got your ankle in a better position, yeah? We're just putting it in a cast, all right? Deep breath in and out, my friend, yeah? We're almost done.
We'll wait till you're a bit more awake and then we'll get her in.
Josh is the first person I've ever loved. The first and only person I've said I love you to that's not my mum or my friends.
Big cough again? Big cough?
We met at uni. We walked to lectures together. So Josh would come by our house and pick us up. Josh, I think, made most of the first moves. I think he asked my number first and asked me out on our first date. He was definitely very keen. Bit of a cheesy first date. We actually ended up watching The Lion King together. That was both of our childhood favourite film.
So what does Amy look like? So when I see her, I know.
Beautiful.
You need to, yeah, I'll tell her that. I'll tell her you said that.
Correct answer.
Yeah, I say beautiful.
Yeah. Even when you're sedated, you're still romantic.
I think when you're at uni, time stands quite still. It's quite easy. You're just going out and having fun all the time. We just clicked. I knew that he was the kind of person that I'd want to spend the rest of my life with.
Amy?
Yeah.
Yay, follow me.
The hardest thing about meeting when you are 19, we obviously hadn't fully grown up yet. You could very easily want different things from life. You can either grow together or grow apart.
I found beautiful Amy.
Wait.
There we are.
Sorry, Valsky. Sorry, Babs.
That's all right. Can I take a selfie for Meg?
Rubbish, am I?
Smile.
No, I'm not ready.
Yes.
You have extremely good posture.
I've been trying to think about it recently, you know. I'm glad it's working.
That's how I feel, love. That's how I feel.
Unless I'm asleep.
Eric and his granddaughter Kaylee are waiting to see a doctor after Eric experienced an episode of dizziness at home.
I think we go back to yours and both have a sleep, won't we?
I think so, love, yeah. That's for sure. Hello.
Hello.
We just out dozing off and you decided to come in.
What's brought you to hospital today, sir?
Apparently I was sweating.
He was dripping with sweat, he lost all his colour, and then he wasn't responsive, his eyes were all looking at, like they were just both looking different directions.
Okay, yeah.
And he wasn't reacting at all, like he wasn't flinching or anything.
Yeah. So the first thing that happened was you sort of felt a kind of pain in your chest, is that right?
I had 2 bites on my sandwich and then I was heaving, weren't I, love? I said, look, get me a ball, get me something, I'm sick.
Yeah. You mind if I quickly examine you? Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
All right, I'm just going to listen to your heart first, okay?
Kaylee's dad, he was an amazing man. It hit her hard when he passed away.
Deep breath in and out through your mouth for me.
Like any daughter would be, when her dad died, she was heartbroken. She was only 12 years old, and the person that she spent a hell of a long time with, doing more or less everything with, had suddenly gone.
Me and my dad were really close. They said I was Daddy's little girl. I remember him being like strong, healthy, happy, just being really ill and skinny, and he looked really sort of like yellow pale. Even though we was told his cancer was terminal, I didn't actually accept it. I was in denial. I just started using drugs to block it out, really. Couldn't get my hands on heavy drugs, obviously, but I was just tooting gas and sniffing glue and stuff just to block it out.
Can I ask you to look at my finger for me and just follow it with your eyes, keep your head nice and still?
Probably on a bit of a downward spiral from then, really. One thing leads to another and all that.
Yeah.
A couple of years later, I got a bit heavier. A couple of years later, a bit heavier. By 16, I was definitely dependent on all sorts of substances and alcohol. My body wouldn't have taken it for much longer. Couldn't take it if I carried on, but couldn't take it if I stopped either. If it weren't for Grandad, then I'd be dead 100%. 100% I'd be dead by now.
I'll go and have a look at all of this and I'll come back and chat in a minute, okay?
In the emergency department, we're a witness to the most tragic illnesses and injuries that you could ever imagine. Whenever such tragedies do occur, I think it's really important that we all have that one individual that we can rely on to help us and support us. Be there your partner or your child or your relative or your parents. The defining bond is their commitment and love for each other.
Oh, hi, it's Ahmed, any concern in research. I've got 2 referrals, I'm afraid. One is Paul, he's 62, he's quite an interesting chap, actually. He's got transverse myelitis of unclear cause.
Paul has been transferred from a specialist neurological hospital after his condition suddenly deteriorated.
But the reason I think he needs to come in is because he is quite confused, quite disorientated, and I think we just need to make sure he's back at baseline before we get him back to Putney. Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. Hi, Paul. Good news. Your head scan is fine. So I'm just going to have a chat with your boss, the wife, yeah? We'll bring her in. OK?
Thanks very much for your time.
No worries. OK, I'll just bring your wife in, OK? Oh, hello. Do you want to come in with me? My name's Ahmed, one of the A&E doctors.
I'm Heather, Paul's wife.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Paul seems a little bit unclear why he has been sent here, and so I just thought we'd just all talk together. I'm sorry to ask you this question. I'm not trying to be rude. Does your partner seem more confused than normal?
He is a little bit more confused.
Yeah. Okay.
When Paul became so unwell in December, everything changed. Before that, he was still out and about, still go to football. You know, he was still very active. He'd played golf in the morning, and then he'd gone round the corner to meet his mates for a couple of beers, and he just got this tingling. My two sons tried to get him to stand up, and he couldn't put his feet on the floor. He just couldn't feel his feet. I didn't know what to think, really. We didn't have a clue. And I think when we got to the hospital, they were just as baffled. They checked Paul firstly for multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, but then not all the symptoms sort of set in with that diagnosis. And then they came up with this transverse myelitis, which they say could have been a virus that got into his spine. And it's caused quite a large area of damage.
I'm not sure if you've noticed before, his pupils, you know, the black circle, they're very small and pinpointed. Are they normally like this?
I've not noticed them being as small as that. That caused him to lose sensation from his waist down. So obviously he can't feel his feet. Paul was told that he may never walk again. Being told that's hard.
So we're worried about whether this may be a stroke. I think it's less likely to be that.
Okay.
What I think is going on is sort of deterioration of your condition. So what we need to do is find out why that's happened. Then depending on all the results and investigations, I'll come back to you and we'll explain whether we need to keep you in hospital or whether we get you back. Okay. Any questions at the moment?
No, that's fine.
Are you sure?
That's fine, yeah.
No worries. I'll come back to you.
Thank you very much.
No
Thank
worries.
you. He just became so incredibly unwell. He couldn't come home, so he went into nursing care. It's been really tough. Because we're not together as much, you know, I have to leave there and leave him in, you know, the nursing environment. We can't watch a film together or go to bed together or anything, you know, there is a part of our life that has actually stopped. It's had an enormous impact on the boys because they were so used to Paul doing everything with them, you know, golf and football and things, and obviously that stopped, and they both have found it really hard.
I can't believe the change.
What, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
Feel rough?
It's terrible this afternoon, isn't it?
I would say Paul feels that he's let us down as a family because he's always provided so well for us. And I think that's probably in the back of Paul's mind. And it's so sad because the part of our relationship that we've lost is sort of the closeness side of it. You know, obviously he's not living here with me.
The hands are ice cold.
Being so close and being married for so long, it's just heartbreaking.
Love you.
I love you too. Silly sod.
Lawrence has 2 children. Do you?
Yes.
How old are you? Sure?
So my oldest one is 3 on the 30th of June.
Yeah.
And my youngest, he's 9 months old.
Well done, fair play.
And he works as well.
Sorry?
It's because of my wife. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't.
Wouldn't even have the children if it wasn't for your wife. That's a good
I
point.
wouldn't, but I wouldn't have been able to do the training either.
Fair play. What's your wife's name?
Natalie.
Shout out to Natalie.
Shout out. Big up, Natalie.
Stupid thing is, he was training.
Yeah.
I didn't scream, I didn't cry.
No, I heard you're a very brave boy.
Josh is waiting for a CT scan so doctors can assess the extent of the damage to his fractured ankle.
Hello.
Hello.
We're going to go for your scan, OK?
Okay, I'll go out and get your dad and Paul.
So you just need to sit there and look pretty. Amy can do that. Give her a job.
After we graduated, I moved to London and I was still a student. Josh was living back at home, working full time, which was more of a test because you had to definitely put the work in to see each other, to speak to each other.
Have you ever had a scan like this before? Have you ever broken a bone? You have. Same doing playing football?
Every relationship obviously does take work and effort. If you're not willing to put it in, then probably won't work.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
It can be easy just to give up, I guess.
Josh, do you think you can bend this leg for me? Yeah.
We'd been together coming up for about 7 years. One Saturday, Josh suggested walking through one of the parks.
This lad is so funny. I was like, oh, what's your girl look like? You know, so I can go get it. Beautiful.
I didn't think he was acting strange. I didn't spot anything. He asked me if I thought there was any fish in the water. I was like, I don't know, do you want to go look? So we went down to look at this bit of water, and then I just heard this voice behind me, so I turned around, and he was down on one knee. Amy, will you marry me? I was actually so surprised at the timing. I don't think I actually said yes straight away. I just had so many questions. And he was like, are you going to answer my question? And then I was like, oh, obviously, yeah. It's nice when someone makes a commitment like that. You know, you'll always be there for each other through the ups and the downs.
Josh's dad and stepmum have now arrived at St George's.
No. Let's see.
How are we doing?
Can you remember what happened?
Yeah. I jumped up for a ball and so did the receiver. And so we collided in there. And obviously, because of the collision, I landed weird and it just...
Oh, so it was on landing?
Yeah.
Or...
The medical team have now received the results of Josh's CT scan.
There you go.
Oh.
Yeah, as if by magic. Whoa.
Hey.
It's broken on both sides. So this one's the tibia. Yeah.
There's a
and
piece come off.
After that.
Yeah.
And there's the fibula, which is the
That's
supporting. So this is the weight-bearing bone, and this is the supporting bone.
Right.
So that's broken there, and it's broken there. So it's
Snap both sides.
Hello, my name is Ali, one of the orthopedic doctors here. Your leg actually on the CT scans looks better than it was when we saw it, but it needs surgery.
Yep.
So you're gonna be admitted under our care today. Just gonna give you an antibiotics as well because you have like a graze here that we think it might be actually going a little bit deeper to the tissues.
Well, you done it good and proper. No half measures.
To get you fit for the wedding, that's the main thing now, isn't it?
Josh will now be taken to a ward in preparation for surgery.
You want to sit there, Grandma? It looks a bit more comfortable.
I'll be quite honest with you, sweetheart. I just want to go home and go to bed.
Eric and his granddaughter Kaylee are waiting for the results of his initial examination after Eric had an episode of dizziness at home.
There you go, son. Coffee for you.
Right. When I've had this, can I go home?
Let's see.
All right.
Bloody red up. That's red up, that.
Shall I stick it on the side for a minute?
Yeah.
Right, I've got it.
Yeah.
I've got it.
Take hold of the top.
I've got it.
It's bloody red up, that.
Oh. Burn your mouth.
You burn my hands.
I never thought she'd go into the drugs. No. It hurt. It hurt, and I was upset. I was annoyed. I was angry. I think it blanked a lot of things out for her, because she not only lost her dad, she saw him drift away. Mum was worried about her. She honestly thought that she would die. I said, okay then, put her in the car. Put her in the car and fetch her up here. First time she took her coat off here, and I thought, God, where have you gone? You know, she was that thin. She was so shallow, so bony. She was like a ghost. I didn't want to lose her, and I knew I had to do something.
Here we go. You all right now?
Yeah, so from the story, given that it all sort of started after you ate this sandwich, it sounds almost like you had some kind of esophageal spasm, and that's what caused the pain, and then you had a reaction.
What did you say? You reckon it is a spasm?
So sort of a spasm in his food pipe, and so that sort of caused the food to get a bit stuck.
So hopefully I'm all right.
Hopefully you're all right, okay? But we'll get you some fluid through the drip, and then we'll take it from there. Okay?
And you.
Thank
Yeah,
you very
thank you.
much.
Thanks for all you did.
Lovely them, aren't they?
Mm.
She only had the clothes she stood up in, so went out, got her new clothes, got her into a rehabilitation centre, got the appointment with a key worker. Me and her mum, I was chatting, I told her, I said, she ain't going home now until I think she's ready to go home. You know, that's all I could do.
Oh, thank you.
I wasn't the person on the drugs. I wasn't the person coming off them. Kaylee was that person, and she had to have the willpower and the desire to come off them. All I did was put her on the right path. That's all I did. She did most of it.
Yeah, mate.
So.
Facing reality was the scariest thing. We got feelings I didn't even know I had. Grandad was a massive help. If he didn't sort out all his support, then I wouldn't be here now. Yeah, he saved me. All right, get coffee and biscuits.
Mm.
We'll come more often.
Yeah, we'll have to pop in, yeah.
Have to pop in now and again for a cuppa and a biscuit.
Yeah, pop in now and again, yeah.
Doctors will now administer fluids to Eric and continue to monitor his condition. Doctors are concerned that Paul's neurological condition is deteriorating after he experienced a sudden onset of weakness and confusion earlier today.
Do you want a cup of tea?
Oh, yes, please.
Sugar?
Just one, please.
And what about myself?
Cup of tea, darling?
I'm all right, thank you.
No sugar.
Good news. Some of the bloods have come through. They're all quite reassuring so far. Kidneys are fine, the liver function is okay.
Okay.
Very reassuring.
Yeah.
All right then.
So
You're
I just
alive,
wanna,
yeah, you're definitely alive.
I just want to check your urine. Yeah?
Okay. You're a mystery again.
I think, to be honest, from when I first saw you to how you are now, you're actually a lot better. You seem a bit more engaged and switched on.
You just want to keep us on our toes, don't you?
I'll
Thank
keep
you, my love.
updating you, all right?
Smashing, thank you, love.
Do you want something to eat? Should we get you
Sandwich or
something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask Ola to come and for you as well, yeah?
Oh, lovely, thank you. Never imagined my life would have been turned upside down. Oh, it's incredibly hard.
He's so nice. Very sweet.
My sons haven't taken it very well, to be honest. They feel that they've lost their dad already because he's not able to do all the things he's done with them for years. They haven't been to see him very much because they both find it really incredibly difficult to walk out the room and leave him there. I think that's the hardest bit. But it's still not going to stop me loving him. I'm still going to be there for him. We've been married so long, we're a team, you know, we're a partnership. I want him to have a good quality of life, and the only way we're going to do that is to be together and to move forward and, you know, fight for what he needs. I'm just going to be there every day for him, and whatever I can do to make his life easier, then I'm going to do it. Not just because I'm his wife, but just because I love him and, you know, it's just a natural thing to do.
So, your urine. You have a urine infection. So that may explain things.
God.
So I'm going to give you some antibiotics.
Okay.
I'll give you a shot of antibiotics through the drip, and we'll start you on tablets.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, absolutely fine.
No
Thank you very
worries.
much.
You're welcome.
Don't look at me like that. Right, you can have your sandwich now. Do you think you can hold it?
Yes.
Okay then, you're dropping it.
Well, no, you hold it tight.
No, I'm not. Look, you're holding it.
To care for somebody and to love somebody and to be there and support them. I think that's what the true kind of meaning of commitment and love is.
It was just quite a stressful time. Lots of wedding stuff to start doing. It was quite scary not knowing what was going to happen and how long it was going to take.
I was always going to marry Amy. You know, even if I was in a wheelchair, I would have still been there and made sure it all went ahead. One of the phrases that we were going to commit to was in sickness and health. So it felt a bit like this was a mini test to see if she was the one, and she passed with flying colours.
I'm proud of what she's done, Kaylee. She had the willpower and determination and she did it. And I'm very proud of her for that.
Yeah, I've been clean for 14 months now, and everything's just much better. I feel so much better. So I'm going to make sure I stay up here. I'll make sure he eats and make sure he gets to all his appointments now, return the favour, I guess. Yeah.
People have been saying to me, there's light at the end of the tunnel. You might not see it at the moment, but it's there. You've just got to be strong. And he's so strong. You know, he's unbelievable. My light would be for him to be able to come home and be here as a family with me and the two boys. That would be wonderful.
Eva has been my saviour. since all this trouble I've had. She's been there for me every day, and without her, I'd have been in a lot worse place. I would do anything to get back to the family. You don't believe how hard I'm going to try. And if I'm lucky enough to get through all this and get mobile again, I shall spoil her rotten.